I recently put up a poll on my community tab asking you all what I should review, and the one that got the most votes was Motionless in White, Scoring the End of the World. And this is a band, I guess their main genre is metalcore, but they do a lot of other stuff, and I'll talk about that in the review. And if you know me, I'm kind of like an old school metalhead. I'm into bands, you see the stuff on the back of my wall. I got the Judas Priest shirt, I got the AC/DC back there. So you kind of like know the bands that, I grew up with and I like. So when you get something new for me, a new modern band with a modern sound like Motionless in White, it's kind of new to me. So, you might not like this review, or maybe you will. So anyway, I do have kind of like mixed feelings about this album. It's I've talked to some other people, I've read some other reviews, and they were very mixed. Some liked it, some didn't like it. And my big issue with this band and this album is that it was very like derivative of like other bands and artists. And I'll be talking about that in more detail throughout this review. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the album and the band. And so, Scoring the End of the World is the sixth studio album, released on June 10th, 2022, and it was released on Roadrunner, produced by Drew Folk and Justin Morrow. And this is also their first album, but they have some new members here, with the drummer Vinny Mauro and bassist Justin Morrow. Kind of weird that they have similar last names. But they're new in the band, so there's some lineup changes here. So basically my first impression is that it just sounded very derivative of other bands. So the ones that kind of like, stood out, the ones I thought of at first were like Marilyn Manson, Ice Nine Kills, 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, maybe some Nine Inch Nails, Slipknot, but with like a metalcore sound, So my biggest complaint was the album is that I think they were like trying too hard to sound like other bands and artists, and they don't really have an identity of their own. Now, what are some of the positives about this album? The lyrics are pretty clever, they got some like snappy lines, and I'll be talking about them. And the lyrics are very well written. You can listen to them, you can understand them. The vocals are mostly like clean, and they're heavy, they're aggressive, they're metalcore style. The vocals are kind of like all over the place. You get a lot of variety, but during all the times throughout the vocals, you can understand what they're saying. There's some screaming like metalcore, there's like rapping, there's the clean vocals, there's the harsh vocals, and you do get a lot of stuff. But other times the vocals, the vocalist's name is Chris Motionless, and I think he tries to like imitate other artists too much. So sometimes he sounds exactly like Marilyn Manson, sometimes he sounds like the singer from 3 Days Grace, and then like I said, he sounded like Corey Taylor from Slipknot in one song. And that kind of goes back to my main issue with this album, being that it is kind of derivative. As far as the instrumentation, has like a heavy electronic industrial sound, most of the songs. There are some heavy guitars. They do have that like tuned down, like metalcore style guitar riffs, or like new metal riffs. You do get a lot of that, but you do get a lot of that like electronic. I always think of like the movie The Matrix, like that type of like cyber techno type of sound. But musicianship is not too bad, but they do mix a lot of electronics and heavy guitars. So the album has 13 songs, 50 minutes long. Many of the songs have guest stars. I didn't really recognize the names, and I didn't really take the time to research who they were. But I'll go through the songs. I'm not doing track by track. I'm just going to talk about just like some of the standouts, and then I'll give my final thoughts and score, and I'll wrap this up. So first song, Meltdown, that one I liked a lot. It's like industrial metal with new metal. There's some like rap, electronic sounds. This is the one with that like clever line, like you can't spell virus without us. I like that line. Chris Motionless, does these like different vocal styles. They got that slower breakdown. And I also thought of like 3 Days Grace on the song as well. Werewolf, this one is just completely Ice Nine Kills. I mean, it has the horror movie theme. It's about the werewolf or the wolfman, and actually I thought there were like female vocals, but it's actually not him doing falsetto. It's just very theatrical, very horror themed, very Ice Nine Kills. Slaughterhouse featuring Bryan Garris of Knock Loose. Very, heavy electronic sounds, different vocal styles and sounds, They're clean, heavy, aggressive, some screams, and they do have this like slower breakdown. Decent song. The song Masterpiece, I think this one was pretty good, but again with my issue, it sounds a lot like 3 Days Grace. I mean, it's in a like emotional style ballad. They do have some heavy parts in the end, but like I think if you took this song and you put it on the last 3 Days Grace album, Explosions, like you probably wouldn't know the difference. It just sounds like so much like that band. Again, that's all my opinion. Become the Night. This one is just very Marilyn Manson. I mean, he just like really goes for that Marilyn Manson vocal style. The chorus, he kind of changes it up with the chorus with his vocals, but it's like a mixture of like Manson and Ice Nine Kills. Just a very like a theatrical sound. Another song, B.F.B.T.G, Corpse Nation. Another one which I don't know what that stands for. Very Ice Nine Kills, and this is the one that reminded me a lot of like Slipknot. He's kind of like going for that like Corey Taylor thing where he does that like harsh vocals with like the almost like rapping style. Maybe like that like early Slipknot from like their like debut album. But it's also like heavy and industrial. The vocals are melodic and aggressive. Pretty cool machine gun riffing on some of the parts. So that one's okay. Cyberhex featuring Lindsay Schoolcraft. This was one of the singles that was released. This is very electronic and very like 3 Days Grace sounding, kind of like a very big sound, very theatrical. I thought this one was just okay for me. Red, White, and Boom. This one features Caleb Shomo. This one, again, very Marilyn Manson-like, 90s industrial sound. The lyrics are kind of snappy. I mean, even the title, Red, White, and Boom, I thought that's pretty cool. And so that was pretty cool. And the last song, Scoring the End of the World, the title track, this one features Mick Gordon. Again, it does have those like Manson style vocals and the 3 Days Grace style vocals and the sound. So again, kind of derivative. So let me wrap this up. So I thought it's just okay for me. And, I'm not really into, metalcore or this type of music, but I read some other reviews on, some of the other like websites, and they pretty much liked the album. They gave it all scores of like 7 and above. I mean, I think one magazine site gave it like a 10, but I don't know. I didn't get it. I think it sounded very derivative. It was just, maybe it's just like not a kind of style that I'm into. So my score is a 6 out of 10. Maybe if I listened to it more, maybe if I listened to the other albums and understood this band a little more, maybe it might grow on me. Maybe the score will go up. Maybe it will make my end of the month list of my top 10 albums when I do June. I doubt it, but maybe it will. So I'll give it a chance to grow on me, but for now it's a 6 out of 10. And that is all. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Back soon, I have some collaborations coming up with a Chill Dude on the Couch. One on his channel with the Deftones White Pony, kind of like a little anniversary edition of that one. And the creator Hate Uber Alice. We'll be doing a joint review with Chill Dude. So, thanks for watching, and see you all in the next one.